This week on the Grand Theory podcast.
That's you could be received and it could be hurtful.
Yeah.
So because life is always happening, there's also this responsibility and this skill that we all have and we're all born with in our bodies to heal.
Well, I'm gonna shop my shop.
1% better. Putting that work. 1% better.
Did not work. Did not work.
Fried, you're seeing the good in me, bro.
Yo, yo, yo.
What's doing this man? This guy's pumped up.
I am. We are back in the building.
Yes, sir.
The Grind Theory podcast.
You already know.
Back with another episode.
Yes, sir.
Like we never left.
And you guys can see, this time around, there's a guest.
There's a guest. We have a chair right here,
you know?
We have a chair right here.
Have you heard from my...
I haven't heard from my boy Fad. But I do know that he recovered though.
Bro, listen, I already told you, bro. Forehead popping. Bro, my guy went from braid up to
just the little cornrows, little twist.
I tried to take a picture of it, but bro, that guy went ghost. He went ghost. But like you always say before we start the podcast.
Before we start the podcast, first things first, we gotta thank God. You know,
sir.
God, we gotta thank God for allowing us to wake up this morning, giving us
sir.
life and strength that we could be here.
Yes, sir.
Also, not only for us, but for our guests, for the people that are listening out there. We got to thank God for just allowing them to be able to listen, to be able to wake up, be able to have technology that they can listen to the podcast or watch the podcast, whatever method they use. But I want to thank God for that. Also, for bringing me back from my vacation, you know.
Yeah, my man went to BC and it was wilding.
I went to BC, had a little bit of fun.
That's for another day.
I didn't really miss Ori, to be honest. But
I didn't miss you too, bro.
But
I had the whole house to myself, go. Gee.
He was walking around the house naked, you know.
Nah, bro,
I know that.
Come on now.
But,
Come on now.
But,
put him on blast. Come on now, bro. What you mean, bro? Hey, nah.
Don't let him lie to you.
Nah,
don't let him lie to you.
Even if I did, what's your business? It's my crib.
It's my house, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not your house no more. It's our house now. But we're happy to be back. Just a recap from last week's episode. So last week it was just me and Ori here, and we were reflecting, right? Reflecting on the process, you know, on all the guests that we've had.
Yeah, la cream.
You know? We were reflecting on the process of the episodes that we had, you know,
sir.
And we learned the definition of the cream.
I don't believe that, man.
What's the definition of the cream? You know the definition.
I don't know the definition.
You know the definition.
I don't know the definition, bro. The
Now, let me tell you the
cream
definition.
to me is different from to you.
Listen. The definition of the cream. I call myself the cream nowadays. So now, from now on, I'll be known as the cream. Okay? But listen, cream, in any situation that you put it in, it rises to the top.
Preach.
So that's what we're going to do. So any situation that you put me in,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to rise to the top. That's why I'm the
Ambrose.
cream. Just like when you're about to eat that French vanilla latte, whatever, grande, what comes first? The cream. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Nah, man. I already told him. I'm not a fan of the cream. Unfortunately, no. There's
Don't
too.
worry.
Nah, listen.
He doesn't want to embrace it, but it's okay.
Nah, I told you, man. I go with the monster, man. The beast.
Yeah. But you have that. Let me not get into it because the cream is deep, you know. But anyways, so today we have a very, very, very special guest. Today, the individual that we have today, I was actually very fortunate to meet her at La Connectional. Shout out to La Connectional because they host these big, great events where they're teaching people how to dance. They just have a really great vibe, and they have tons of creatives and just really, really talented people in Edmonton that I didn't even know that existed, right? So shout out to Ray for allowing me to get into a security gig there. And from there I was able to meet all these really, really cool people, and I was able to meet our guest who's super, super, super cool. Our guest today is a sister. She is a friend. She is a mentor, mentee to some people. She is an artist.
Yes, sir.
She is an economist.
Yes, sir.
She's extremely, extremely creative. I don't even want to get into it until she comes on, but she's very, very creative. I'm very, very impressed with just from the little bit that I know about her.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very excited to jump into the episode and learn way more. I'm actually just excited as you guys, even though I'm nervous too. As always.
It's always nervous. I don't know why. I don't know why. I always tell him like, yo, bro, just come in and just like let it flow.
I don't know, man. I get nervous. But without further ado, we want to introduce our guest, Merlin.
Don't listen. My advice to you is,
you know what?
Let
I don't want to spoil the name, so I'm gonna let her say it.
Yes, sir.
But Merlin, we'd love to have you on now.
Yes, sir.
Hi.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. You can adjust it, yeah. Okay. And I think should be good. I think.
Okay. So Merlin, how do I say your last name? Because I didn't want to butcher it, you know.
Uwalaka.
Uwalaka. Okay. Uwalaka.
That's a
Uwalaka.
unique name, though.
It's
Very.
nice. I love it. I love what it means. A good name too.
Okay.
What does your name mean?
It means the world will talk.
The world will talk.
Huh? That's a unique.
Okay.
That's a unique.
The
one,
world
actually.
will
That's a first.
talk.
Or the world talks, you
The
know?
world I like that. So, Merlin.
Hey.
Oh! See, I did it without even realizing.
Am I
So this-
safe?
Yo, you're safe. Nah, listen, nah, you're safe. No, you know what I'm gonna start doing? When she's like, I'm gonna put some sound effect into it. Sizzling. The video. Sizzling. Then when we drop the gem, you're gonna get that sound.
No, that's our dissection. Whenever
Yeah,
we have a guest on, we're getting ready to dissect them, you know. So
I'm ready.
Alright.
we're-
Yeah, you all heard it. You heard
so
it.
she's ready.
Say everything. We warned her. Okay.
Okay.
Akio, I'll let you start.
So, Merlin, where are you from originally?
Okay, I know this one. I'm from Nigeria.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our co-host is also from Nigeria, you know.
And as you call
So-
me the Niger Beast.
The Niger Beast.
Okay.
There's a reason behind it, but not for today's episode.
No, okay.
So, what I wanted to know is,
Mhm.
so you were born in Nigeria.
Yes.
Did you grow up there for a while before coming to Canada?
Yes. I completed high school in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Okay. So my question for you is, growing up in Nigeria to start in your earlier days,
Yes.
and then coming to Canada.
Yes.
First of all, what were your earlier days like going back home?
In Nigeria.
Oh, it was great. Amazing. Great stuff.
Next stuff?
Oh, okay.
Like what?
It was just so much peace, so much freedom.
Okay.
I think for me, at least, like growing up, I grew up in a community, so I had like neighbors that we all lived together. So we were in this like big compound. So there was like other kids to run around with. There was like next door neighbors, always doing something.
Okay.
Just like being in the streets, playing in the
Just
sand,
chilling and stuff,
playing
yeah.
by the water, just chilling and vibing.
So I do have a question. No, you're still gonna go back to the same topic. In high school, did you go to? Were you a day student or were you a boarding student?
A day student, you know,
that's why you're
because my
lucky.
parents
Oh,
love
that's why you're
me.
lucky.
So you just go home, go to school,
So come
day,
back home.
Come
Yeah,
back home.
That's
No
so you're lucky.
boarding.
That's why you
Yeah.
never did boarding. That's why you said it was peaceful. Because I know when I went to boarding school, oh Lee, and you're a junior, your ass is gone.
So it wasn't peaceful.
And
Huh?
nah, my guy, man, that's what made me tough.
Fair, fair,
Yeah,
fair,
you
fair.
have to be. Like, I was a pretty, like, no one could mess with me either.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I was
okay.
chilling.
You was chilling. Oh, okay. Okay. So, what would you say, coming to Canada now, right? What would you say is the difference from coming to Canada, from growing up in Nigeria to coming in Canada?
Yeah.
And did that differ, like the differences, did they impact you negatively or positively or neutral? Like,
Oof. Very good question. There's so many differences. I think, like I said, I was chilling in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I was cute. Everybody loved me. My teachers loved me. My friends, my family, my friends, and everyone just saw me as like a star.
Okay.
I think like coming here, it was a bit hard to deal with like people's expectations of me, and I'm like,
Okay.
can't you guys see how cute I am? And
So it wasn't
they're like,
flying no
yes,
more.
you're so cute. But at the same time, there were all these other layers about like, you know, where I'm from, being Nigerian, being black, being young, and how people interact with you. I came here, I was 15,
Okay.
and I was living with a family. But they were very kind to me, and they took care of me really well. They were white. But I had to explain myself a lot. So I think that aspect of being like, you think I'm like this, but I will surprise you and I'll be a different way. And just having to deal with like having to like show up, because people can't just look at you and see your gifts, you know? So you have to constantly like tell people what you do or show people what you can do, even though they think you can't do it. That aspect wasn't so nice, but positively, it taught me to communicate myself more clearly. Yeah. Yeah.
Which actually is something that I mentioned to you that you do very well. You know, I actually had to emulate you from the podcast, because like even when I'm talking to you right now, I'm listening to you. I'm trying to be conscious of like what you're saying and how you're saying it. Because one thing that I noticed was that with Merlin is that when I was talking to her is that she takes her time. Like she takes her time and she pronounces what she's saying, right? And that's something that I wanted to develop also for the podcast for myself, right? Taking my time. Sometimes I feel like I mumble, so taking my time and kind of speaking. So that's definitely something that I noticed on my side from you.
So I have a question. Maybe I want to see if it's just me that experienced it. So when you moved all the way from Nigeria to Canada, how was that lifestyle like switching? Because you said, did you move alone? Or?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so
I left my parents for I'd never like not slept with my parents.
Okay.
And I left.
So how was that? Like, how was that switch? Because like it's not easy. Like moving away all the way from Nigeria, it's like close to like a day flight. It depends on the plane you take. So being on the plane for like moving around, transferring between different planes, moving to a completely different country, the weather, lifestyle, the food. How, like, what was your mind like? I mean, you were 15, so you can't. I don't know if you can remember, but like, how did you feel at that time?
I was really sad. No cap.
Yeah.
I was really, really sad. I wouldn't say I was depressed, because I mean, I'm not allowed to say that, but I was really sad.
Okay.
And I felt like I missed home a lot. I missed the warmth. I definitely missed the food.
Yeah.
But what happened was I had to start cooking the food myself.
Yeah.
I had to make new friends. I had to like really shift like my focus and like really start meeting people that I connected with.
Yeah.
I was also really lucky. I had church, so my church folks like they really just like
What church did you go to?
became my community. I was a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
And honestly, like, I got adopted by so many different families, to be very honest. So I always had people that were taking care of me and like showing up for me. So it was super nice. And again, when I moved, I didn't move to be by myself. Like I said, I moved into a family, and the family had like 6 kids. So yeah, I was grateful and lucky in that way. But I was still lonely and sad because I missed my family and my people.
Okay. Have you been back home ever since or no?
Yes, like I actually used to go home twice a year, when I came to, because my parents also like really missed me. But last time I went home was in 2017 though.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's been a while now. Question. So are you an only child, or do you have other siblings?
I have 6 other siblings.
Okay. Because I was wondering how that dynamic was. If you were an only child, then coming to a family that had 6 siblings.
No, it was like they matched us.
Nice.
Okay.
That's good.
It was the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that you were in Canada now, right? And you started high school. Well, would you still do high school here? Because you're only 15.
Yeah, I had to do like grade 12 again.
Grade 12 again, right?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, no. But wait. Wait, hold on. I'm confused now. When you go to
Nigeria.
Okay, yeah, no. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
so
no,
like
no,
in
okay,
Nigeria,
no,
most of
okay.
the time people tend to finish
Really
high school
early.
around 16, I think. Yeah, 15, 16. Then they go to uni
Yeah.
around that age. That's why most people, if everything goes good, this university always done around like 20, 21.
Yep.
Yeah,
most of the time.
Okay, because back home in St. Vincent it's like that too. But it's okay. No, that makes sense. So after you had finished high school now, right? Actually, what was it like going back to grade 12?
It was chill.
And so like you ready?
Because I've been there, done that. So it was just like, I was taking new classes. I had not taken like psychology before. I was taking arts.
Okay.
I've been taking arts since like grade 10 to 12 in Nigeria. So I got a chance to take arts, outdoor ed. So I was doing some fun stuff I'd never done before. And then I was chilling in this stuff I'd done before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Question: is the curriculum in Nigeria higher than the curriculum?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Coming like doing like uni and stuff in this place, I was like, nah. If uni like this was back home. Sheesh. But the thing is, you need like the difference between here and back home is in this place. If you study to understand, you're gonna pass.
Yes.
Back home, if you study to understand, you still pass. But if you cram, you can still pass.
Yeah.
So cramming is like you're looking just to get the answer in your head. But in this place, if you cram, I'm sorry, you're failing.
Word.
No, I feel that.
Bro, the first exam I did in this place, I was like, oh, I had the Nigerian mindset. I was like, shit, I'm just gonna go in, look at the book. Okay, this is this. Cram everything. I go into the exam hall. I was like, oh, what the? I was like, what? I was like, what? I was confused. But after that, I was like, you know what? Like, study to understand. As soon as I started doing that, it switched. So in this place, as long as you study to understand, like I have this saying, when I'm studying anything, I imagine like I want to explain what I'm studying to a 4-year-old. If you can explain it to a kid, I'm sorry, you know it. You know it. So
That's word.
That's very, very true.
That's fine.
Sure. That's a good point, actually. That's very true.
You know,
because I know that's for sure. That's a good point. So now you went to university here in Edmonton at U of A, correct?
Yes.
And you took economics as well as math, correct? So what led you into those fields?
Economics is very simple. I'm not gonna even mince words. My dad said that's what I'm doing, and that's it.
Okay.
So it was.
That's it. Since primary school. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
No questions to ask.
Were you a fan of maths?
I wanted to be a doctor, but like,
Oh, okay.
You probably still could.
I will.
Okay, all right.
Okay. I like
This
that.
time.
I like that. I will.
Wait, what's today's date? I'm gonna quote you on that though. Today is the 20th.
Yeah.
Today is the 24th of August, 2021.
Yeah. Look, I already am, but you know.
Oh, low key. Oh, you're making
Okay,
more.
okay,
You gotta break more.
It depends on how you see it, you know.
Okay.
It's, you know, it was about healing. I've been healing people.
Okay.
But
Okay. I hear you.
You know.
When you say healing, I gotta ask in what sense? I'm curious.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's just like healing. I think that there's medicine. Like
Okay.
there's different types of medicine.
Yeah.
Like say for example, being an artist
Yeah.
is being a healer because you're offering people medicine. And
Okay.
if you're intentional enough about your art
Yeah.
and you actually pay attention to, you know, or you're cooking up
Yeah.
and presenting as medicine, you can really heal people.
Okay.
And you know, people will feel it and they'll
Okay.
let you know.
Actually, you said in your podcast episode, right? You said that healing is active, right? It's
an
healing
active
is an active
journey.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Could you go into that a little bit more? Because, like, at least I don't know about Ori, but at least for me personally, as a man, I mean, I speak for most. For me personally, right? I don't feel like I heal. I never talk about healing. It's just not something that I talk about. You know, it is what it is.
We don't talk
you know?
about it.
We don't talk about it. I think as men, right? So could you expand a little bit more on that? Like what, like your idea on healing, and you said it's active, right?
Yes.
So like, what does that mean? Because I think even our lead in the previous episode said something very similar too.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say you mentioned the podcast episode, and when I say like healing is an active journey, it's this understanding that life is always happening.
Yeah.
So whether we like it or not, we would experience things that would be traumatic to some extent, varying degrees. You're chopping some onions, you cut your finger, that's a physical trauma to your body.
Yeah.
You're walking down the road, someone decides like to throw some slurs at you, that's you know, you know, it could be received and it could be hurtful.
Yeah.
So because life is always happening, there's also this responsibility and this skill that we all have and we're all born with in our bodies to heal.
Yeah.
You know, you cut yourself, the scar closes up, your body's responding and it's like, I'm going to go and heal that wound.
Yeah.
That's because like we always have to constantly heal ourselves. That's actually part of what we're doing as human beings.
Yeah.
And so I think it's very important for us to be conscious of all the types of healing that we're able to do, like to our bodies, to our minds, to our hearts, to our communities, because that's another like organism that we're responsible for, to our relationships and our friendships. So yeah, there's always an opportunity for us to heal. There's always an opportunity for us to train our capacity to heal ourselves first, and then when I find that when you're feeling healthy, you're feeling healed, it's easy for you to, just by being yourself, like help heal other people.
I actually never thought about that in that way, because like you said, we are constantly experiencing different traumas, right? Whatever happens to us on a daily, right?
Yeah.
But I actually didn't take that in to think about it in that way, to say that if we're constantly being hurt or going through trauma, then we're constantly healing as well, because the body is, whenever you get cut, unless the body's not working properly, then you heal yourself, right? I actually didn't think about that concept. So would you say that healing never stops then?
I think that like you can always do better, especially on certain levels. You know, your body can always like be improved. Your mental capacity can always be improved, especially like growing up within certain systems. Our minds, like there's so much unlearning that we have to do just to get our minds to be healthier. You're big on that, like healthy minds. And so I think, because the world is so much possibilities, like you never even know like what medicine you might need or you haven't taken. And like with going to the physical gym, you know, like it's a constant thing. It's consistency is also part of the recipe. You know, you can't just, prevention is better than cure. You don't want to be that person that waits until you're actually sick. Then you now want to be like healing. Just building up your reserve and staying healthy. So you have to be consistent.
So I have a question. Since you're like, I might think we might be on the same wavelength when it comes to this, but like you mentioned something which was consistency. Like in your own personal life, being an artist, how do you stay consistent?
Good question, my guy.
Wow. These are the questions, eh?
because I personally, I'm an artist too. So like I do pictures and stuff, but like I know it's tough to stay consistent. And then there's a difference between dropping a lot of like quantity and quality. It's hard to drop top quality pictures every single time. Or even going to the gym and working your ass off every single time. Or staying on a diet and staying consistent it is tough. So like when it comes to like your own, like the creative artist and what you do, how do you stay consistent to that? Like what do you use? What tips?
Okay. So something I learned recently about this, and I'm not gonna act as if I'm like an expert at it and like I'm really like, you know, gotten with it, but I'm learning is first, it's important to be consistent. But you need to know like what your commitment to is, right? So if you want to be consistently putting out work, you can be consistently putting out work, but you could also decide that you want to be consistently putting out good work, right? And so I think your intention determines what's consistent for you and like what your pace is. And I think that's the first thing that like needs to be gotten is like, okay, how am I defining consistency? Like, is it by quality? Is it by quantity? Is it by my consistency of creating? So for example, for me, because I use so many different mediums, people who might like consume my writing might think I'm an inconsistent writer. But on a more holistic scale, I'm a consistent creative because I'm writing sometimes, I'm doing fashion sometimes, I'm doing like something else some other time, right? So I've dealt with that feeling of like, oh, like I'm feeling like someone thinks I'm inconsistent, but no, like I need to come back to my own intention, which is to create. And as long as I'm consistently creating,
That's all that matters.
that's all that matters. And sometimes, you know, it will look different to different people. Then the third thing, which is the real thing that I'm just learning, is that inconsistency is also needed. Like
more.
the gaps, right?
Yeah.
The doing and the gaps in between the doing. Like, yeah.
So what would you? There you go.
So, sorry. So, the gaps in between the doing and the doing. Why are they important?
You know, because it's like flow.
So, like yin and yang type of thing that you need to have.
Sometimes you're giving, sometimes you're receiving. Like you need to really take those moments in between when you're receiving inspiration, when you're becoming clear about your intention, when you're actually like being in the energy of the work, so that you know you can be very clear. And then there will be a time when you're like giving out the work. And even on the grander scale, there'll be long periods. I find like there's periods of my existence where like I'm like putting stuff out, and then it's like nothing, because I have to come back to myself and like get ready for like the next round of giving.
So I have a question following to that. Like when you, so I understand that sometimes staying, like being inconsistent helps. And the same stuff you said, where when you're inconsistent, you learn. Like during that period, you're learning, you're getting more knowledge, you're getting more inspiration. Like for example, photography, you're learning more poses, composition, lights, those kind of stuff. But now my question is, how long is too long? If you know what I mean? Of not like, because like I'm gonna use the gym as an example. When you keep going to the gym consistent, like for like a year, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, the more you do it, the more you're getting stronger. But when you take like 2 weeks or 3 weeks off, boom, you can come back, you're not the same person, completely
100%.
different. So like, but if you take like a week off and you come back, you're still that same person, because it's not that long. So what would you say, from your personal perspective, is too long?
I can't answer that question because it would be on a individual basis.
Yeah,
I would say follow your
person.
intuition.
Okay.
Follow what you feel.
Okay.
Like if you feel like one day, take 1 day. If it's 1 hour, take 1 hour. If it's a whole year that you need in that moment because of whatever is coming up, take a year.
So it's more like a mental kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yourself. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Okay.
so.
Okay.
It's almost like it's like knowing your limits and stuff too, as well, right? So when you go to the gym, you don't go in like,
Nah, man, no limit.
you know,
Nah,
but
no
like,
limit.
like it's okay to but I feel like it's okay to know your limit, because you're not gonna go to the gym and lift 1,000 pounds.
Oh no, 100%.
right?
Come on.
So but you can always break your limits, right? But you need to know, like, where,
like, gotta be realistic with
you
yourself.
gotta be realistic with yourself at the same time too. So like, even like when you're saying you're creating all this content, right, and that you're putting out, like you also have to take time for yourself to know, like, yo, I actually need to just chill for a little bit and catch myself. So
take some vacation.
that's something that I didn't think about.
We also have a life, you know.
Yeah.
That's true.
We have friends, we have family, we have people to take care of,
That's true.
people to be in community with, other
That's
things
true.
to do.
That's true. Because
Like,
I feel like, at least for me, I get caught up in like
the grind.
just the grind.
Let's
Like, I'm like, no,
go.
I gotta grind. If I'm not grinding, then Ori's grinding harder than me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, nah, I
is
can't.
this what this is?
I mean,
Is this what this is?
But you know,
But it helps.
It helps though. Honestly, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
It helps. Like we use the gym as an example. It helps. I'll give a perfect example. So he does squat better than me. I do deadlift better than him.
Okay.
But because
For now.
But for nah, listen. Nah, man. Nah. That's not happening. Nope. Listen.
I love
Right
this.
now, you're beating me out of 3. You're beating me in 2. You're doing bench press more. So listen, deadlift, bro. I don't care if I have to die doing that stuff, man. Nah,
It's
bro.
like you're not getting
Nah,
it.
man. Listen.
Listen.
Dog. I'm close to 5.
Come on.
So you know what? I don't like talking too much. Results. Let results speak. But
Let me know about it.
I say less. Don't worry. I told him 500 pounds. You saw the video.
I did.
I was this close to pulling 450. I ripped off my hand. So I'm on the
Damn,
injury
that's
right
a
now.
lot.
But listen, we don't do it almost. We do it completed things, eh?
I will. Don't worry. I don't talk too much.
I'm coming.
Nah, man. Nah, man.
I'm the queen.
You know
Sorry.
what I'm
Sorry.
Either that cream. Wait, what melts the cream? I can't remember. I'm gonna look into.
I don't know, but I know that
I'll look
before
into
the cream melted, it came
Heat,
first.
There you go. I'm the heat.
Listen. The cream came first before the heat. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Just know that.
What?
The cream was the cream. Okay, was the cream not there before you brought the heat?
Now listen.
That's all.
Listen. All you're saying doesn't matter though, because the fact is, once there's the cream and there's the heat, what happens to the cream? Melt.
But the cream was on top.
Doesn't matter though.
Listen. I'm not.
Okay, let's go
Back to the.
Let's go back to the episode. We got sidetracked in there, right there. But so what I was gonna ask is, like, I personally, I see your work. Like I've on Instagram and stuff. I've seen a couple of your work before, and like you're good. Like you do good stuff. I've seen it before. So what I wanted to actually dive into is, you said you went to U of A, you did economics and maths, correct? What was your because my question is, what was your uni life like? Because I know 100. I don't know. I think it's a 4-year program. so I know first year is, because like there's a difference. Because when you were in uni, were you staying in campus?
I was staying on campus.
Okay, good. So
okay.
listen, I know the feeling, because I moved all the way from Nigeria to Canada on my own.
Yeah.
Like for school. I know the feeling of when you're alone. Like literally, you have literally no one holding you. So I know first year is probably the struggling year.
Did you come to U of A?
No, I went to Nate.
Okay.
So I know first year is always completely booked. You're studying. You don't have time to be doing too much.
Yeah.
Because you're Nigerian. You're like, oh, you don't want shit from the people back home. So you gotta try and destroy the grades. So I know first year is probably books. But what was your year after? Second year, third year?
It's all books.
It's all books?
Yeah, I was like an honor student, so
okay.
yeah, we were on the grind. I'm a nerd, like full on blown like nerd.
Okay.
First and second year I couldn't hit the clubs because I was underage.
Okay.
Then by the time it was third year, all my friends were over it, and they were into their books. So none of that like was my thing in uni. Uni was mostly because we had a huge Nigerian community.
That's true.
So I was on the Nigerian Student Association, International Student Association, like throwing events, hosting events, organizing like meetups for Nigerians and international students.
Nice.
Just volunteering, cooking some jollof, sharing some jollof.
That's the vibe. I like that.
It was fun. I would say it was really fun. I actually got to meet a lot of people. I was one of those people you couldn't walk with because I was always saying hi to people.
Okay, that's a good thing though.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
So that was my undergrad.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my question for you now is, if I'm talking to you, right? We've talked about what you did while you were in university, doing those 2 degrees, right? You also picked up fashion, right? You were also really into fashion.
Yes.
And you actually started making your own clothes, like from scratch. Which to me is crazy because you said you were doing both degrees and you weren't even in that class. You were just taking it as a
side thing, as a hobby. My best friend, I had like this really cool babe. She was my best friend. She was like 6 feet tall, model. She was just called Modella.
You have to come out for the photo shoots.
Yes, actually shoot here like sometimes.
Okay.
You should yeah. So we were both interested in fashion. And then we hated all the clothes we used to like see at the malls.
Okay.
And someone gave her like a sewing machine as a present. And so we would just practice with that. So like that was our hangout. So if I'm hanging out with my friend, we're making clothes. Right? And then we both would like go find those textbooks because we wanted to like get really better. We had like both had like really good taste. So we wanted to really like make clothes that met up with what we liked.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it was fun.
How like, okay, for me, that's crazy because, I mean, I could read a book and also like do the things, but I'm more of like a hands-on person, right? I work better when I see somebody do something that I can follow.
Yes.
But you're saying that you just read the textbook.
YouTube. Let's also shout out YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube
Okay.
University. YouTube University for the win.
Always.
Thank you to all the stars on YouTube, because
word.
without you, we wouldn't be here
Always.
right now. We're
No,
so
YouTube has
grateful.
done so much.
No, for real. Right to you.
And also, you learn a lot hands-on. Like, I learned a lot literally by trying. Oh, would this work? Would this not work? Like, I'm scissor happy.
Yeah.
Cutting up.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing fashion?
My whole life.
Okay.
But technically, I know the question you're asking.
Yeah.
Let's say 6 years.
So you
Okay.
see.
Okay.
So, I just want to make a quick point to people out there, which is when you first started, what was your design like? Be honest.
Amazing. You didn't expect that.
I thought she was gonna be like,
Yo, my shit was hot from the jump.
From the
So
first
from day one.
From day one, like.
okay, the guess. I'm not gonna roast you. Okay.
No,
So-
on God, first dress I ever made, I wore it to a dinner party,
Okay.
and everyone was like,
So-
"Right, you did that."
So you're one of the skilled people. You're one of the what's that word I'm looking for?
A Bini.
Yeah. You're one of those skilled people. Because what I was gonna say is most of the time, bro, when you just do something, your first stuff is always most of the time trash. Most of the time.
Do you know what we're going to also say?
Well,
That's also right. Like, I can say that my first stuff was amazing because it was,
yeah.
but it's also trash compared to what I'm doing now.
Yeah. So you see, I used to ask the wrong question. I should be like your first dress is what you made now.
Make now. Yeah, fair.
That's
That's fair.
That's the right
fair.
one.
That's
Okay.
fair.
So.
That's fair.
Because what the point I'm trying to make is 6 years ago, you're not making when you weren't making when you're making now. It was a consistent work.
Yeah,
That you did.
practice is needed.
You see?
You have to.
It all falls
Practice,
back to
yeah.
that same
Consistency.
Get
consistency.
better.
Consistency
But
is
still, you
very
took a
key.
break though.
Oh yeah, I actually took 2 years off
Okay.
of
Making
sewing
anything.
Okay.
Okay.
at a point.
And did you when you came back, did you come back better, or did you just have to start over and knock off the rust and stuff like that?
I had to.
Okay.
It took me a whole year to catch up to where I
you
left
left
off
off.
when I stopped.
Okay. Nice.
So isn't that kind of like moving backwards though? Because now you're taking the 2 years off and then having to come back and then build up for that year to get to where you were initially.
Yeah, it's. So I stopped because I experienced a traumatic event.
Okay.
We're gonna dive into that.
With regards to me trying to pursue my sewing as a business.
Okay.
So when I said I stopped sewing, I moved more into a space of a weird kind of practice. So I was picking up new techniques, right? So I left like I was really a really good seamstress. Like I would construct a garment really well. Like you could wear it inside out. But I really wanted to pick up some other things like dyeing techniques, like
Okay.
fabric manipulation techniques,
Okay.
different like cuts, working with different types of fabric. So I think I was more in like that practice round where it wasn't about like my skill, but it was more about my creativity.
Okay.
And then also because I'd experienced this traumatic thing where when I was trying to serve customers were not nice. And I wasn't like enforcing like the boundaries that I needed as like a business.
Okay.
And so I received some feedback that I'm learning were lies and projections. So I really had to like take the time to heal myself from that.
Okay.
And then come back, and now we're even better for it.
Nice.
So how because me and Ori are gonna start our own businesses, right? Eventually, right? Or have started our own businesses.
Yeah.
So just with that experience that you had, right? With guests, like I know Ori, you have models that come in, right?
Yeah.
Or even for people that want to get photos done, right?
Yeah.
They might react in the same way. Or for people that I'm gonna train or do whatever helping build mindset and stuff like that, they might react in that same way. So what would be your advice just after that experience? What did you kind of learn from it to say that you could probably give tips from me or Ori or for people out there?
Don't play small. Talk your shit. Like, really know what you're offering. And when people want to manipulate, gaslight you into not seeing your value, don't allow them. For whatever reason, don't internalize that. Don't be, don't second guess yourself, and wait for the people that are your people, you know? Because that's what it's supposed to be. They're supposed to say no to your service as you've presented it.
Yeah.
But you need to like be on shifting. It's like, this is what I'm offering. This is how I'm offering it. And this is what I want to receive from you. Either it's like money, respect, whatever. You don't talk to me like that and stuff. Yeah.
I think I agree with you on that, especially running a business, especially because a lot of people, when they try to get cheaper service for your stuff, they try to catch you emotionally.
Yeah.
That's the biggest snap when it comes to business. They're like, oh, why can't you do it? Like, why can't you for that price? Oh, I'm gonna go to someone else. That kind of stuff. Yeah. So,
I wish I want to tell one story. But
go.
Unfiltered. Yo, we haven't said unfiltered in a long time, yo.
Yeah.
Unadulterated.
Yo,
unfiltered.
I'll put you guys on to this. Cause I don't really share this sort of stuff, but I'll do it briefly. You're so right. Like, I had these clients that I'd met their auntie or someone, and she's like, yeah, my nieces want to do this. Can you give them a lower price? And when she said her nieces, I thought it was like teenagers.
Big woman.
No, these are big women with children.
Wow.
Damn.
So at the time, I was like, okay, fine. You know what? They're kind of nice, whatever. And they were going to make some stuff for their kids. And I was like, okay, cute. I love kids. Fast forward to doing the work for them. They had the most demands. First of all, they were bringing their clothes last minute. They had the most demands. Do this kind of fabric. Okay. Then, this one sister of the nieces, she was particularly obnoxious. She told me I'd done like the hem of a skirt, and it was like a circle, and let's say it was supposed to be like 1 inch, like the whole circle. She came into my space, and then she took a measuring tape and was measuring the whole circle inch by inch. And then she got to the very, very end, and then she said the very end is 9 centimeters. I said, babe.
Are you kidding me? Come on now.
Babe, she's asking me to do couture finish for her for a skirt that she wasn't paying any good money for. And anyways, fast forward, and then I didn't let her like override my energy. And then what they did was report me to their auntie, who then sent me a long epistle. And then she also sent me a long epistle asking for a refund and saying that, and at the time I just moved into my space, so I didn't have furniture. And I told them that. And she complained about standing and waiting for 10 minutes. And then she was like, we only really wanted to support a young designer. We could have given this to somebody else. And I said to her, if you really wanted to support me, ma'am, you would have paid me more money. You would not be disturbing my life right now. And I need you to fucking get off my phone. And there's something else about like Nigerian people. Like, they don't think you're going to be like cutthroat with them. Like me, even if I'm like, my trauma is literally like people getting me to the point where I have to be pissed off. I don't like being angry. And because I know that when I'm angry, I let it out. I just I clear people. That's actually
like, especially the ones, I always say this because I'm that kind of person, especially the calm ones, the ones that know how to like control themselves in spite of anger. If they're mad, oh, you don't want to be near those people. Nah, I always tell my friends, don't piss me off to the point where I'm mad, because you would run away from me.
Be dissing them.
So, and like, from what you even said,
that was a really
I don't know if you've ever noticed this. The people who pay you like your actual money, they stress you the less. But the people who pay you like discount and stuff, oh my gosh. Hey, you didn't do this. Hey, you didn't do this. That's why now it's a new.
Yourself.
It's like it's a new implement I'm adding to my business now, which is whenever do photo shoot, video, whatever. I give only 2 reviews. And
stuff like that. It's very important.
Like anything past 2, you gotta
pay extra
me.
energy.
You gotta pay me. That's what I'm gonna start implementing in my own, because I'm like, before I actually do anything, I literally ask you a bunch of questions. What exactly do you want? Say for example, you're trying to do pictures. Send me the sample. What do you want? Because I make sure that I deliver exactly what you want, and I go a little bit over that. But yeah, once in a while you can have like reviews and stuff. But what I noticed is when you don't give them like a restriction, okay, you're only gonna have 2 reviews. Anything past that, you pay. Once you tell people you pay,
They behave
They make-
themselves.
No.
Yo, boundaries are so important
Oh, it
in
is.
business, in life, in your relationships.
Oh, it
Like
is.
you need to tell people where their limits are, because apparently some people don't have the natural skill to
so like respect it.
to
Everyone-
figure out where the lines are.
So from what I'm seeing it from, you have to understand and know yourself in order to place proper boundaries. Because if you don't know yourself, then you won't be able to place proper boundaries.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Like if you're just like, oh well, then whatever,
It is what it is,
then
yeah.
people will just
Yeah.
the boundary will be over here when it should be here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to first understand yourself or get to a certain understanding of what you want
Mm-hmm.
and what you bring to the table, right?
Yeah.
Like you were
Yes.
saying, like what you bring to the table. You have to be
Skills.
confident in your
You know,
abilities.
even
of
if
what
you're
you
a
bring.
smart girl, like, and I'm saying this especially for really young people, especially for children. I had to experience like people looking at you like a child,
Yeah.
even though you're bringing a lot into a space.
Yeah.
Don't play small. Don't make it a habit of like shrinking yourself,
Yeah.
because people are like, oh, you're literally small, like
Yeah.
you're literally like young and stuff. Like if you have learned something, if you've embodied something, show up as your full self,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't matter like what anyone thinks, as
True.
long as you know yourself
Yeah.
and you are going to put in the work into being yourself.
Yeah.
Just be yourself,
That's true.
and
I like that.
everyone else
I
will
agree with
decide
that.
what they're gonna do.
Yep.
Some gems. Don't worry.
Gems.
Don't worry. I got the sound effects.
No, I love
coming.
that. I love that. I love
No,
that.
like
honestly.
I agree with you, especially on that. Like, on don't undersell yourself. That is big for creatives out there. That is big.
That's very
'Cause
big, yeah.
There's this mindset that way they say. I mean, don't get me wrong. You do have to sometimes do some free work. Then it's but that free work has to be the right people. That's the biggest one. Not just saying to people. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you probably get the DMs. Oh, do this call for me, and I'll give you what's that word? Exposure.
I don't. Thank
Bruh,
glory be to
I've
God.
heard it so much. Like that. Like, don't get me wrong. You can do it for some people. They're the right people that you know that if I do this for them, I'm gonna have the right clients coming my way.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, people just try to take advantage of it. Like now, like my mind is different. Before I used to kind of fall for those traps. Now I'm like, you know what? This is my skill. Like, I know what I can do. This is my money. I mean, sometimes you can always move around like the budget, but don't like undersell yourself where you're running a business out of your own. Like, I mean, for the start you have to, but like, don't like run a business that you know that you gotta pay me for the service I'm worth. If you know you want to go less, I'm gonna take away some service from it.
Yes.
Like literally. So
And that's why I say, like, for creatives, you also need to practice like true, authentic, honest collaborations, so that you know what those feel like. And then you can feel the difference when someone is trying to manipulate you, right? Like someone's trying to bring you into a space, but they're not collaborating with you, but they want you to do it for free. So
Yeah, I didn't
that's a
think about that.
using situation. That's
Yeah.
an extractive situation.
So-
And you're right. There's many bare niggas in the streets trying to be on that wave.
100%.
No,
So much.
I actually didn't think about that. That's
So,
a good point.
I have a question, because you've been here longer than me.
I have.
What is your? This is like debating 360, but it's up to you if you want to answer it.
Okay.
What is your personal take on Edmonton creative space? I actually want to know, because like I personally, when I came in here, I was trying to dive into it to see, like, because I was trying to meet other creatives.
When did you come?
So I came here around 2018 December.
Oh, I came
So-
at the end of a really cool era.
Okay, so when I came to this place, I was like, you know what, I want to meet other creatives, because from Nigeria, most of the from Nigeria, like, you know how people are. Like, I mean, it can be envy and like people that are jealous of you and stuff, but still, most of the time, you have like a community.
Were
like,
you working in Lagos as well?
yeah, I was looking at it. So yeah,
Okay, we should talk about that.
so
after.
what I noticed is, back home, you can reach out to this photographer, like, hey, whatever. Especially when you're on the same, like, your work is kind of on the same level. Like, there's a difference between you reading somebody that has like 20K, 30K, and you're like 1K. They're not gonna respond to you. Let's be honest. But if you're someone around the same level and same skill set, you expect like, okay, you know what, we can try to like establish that good communication. But what I realized is, when I was coming here in Edmonton, it's kind of the opposite. When you reach out to people on the same level, most of the time, I'm not saying everyone, most of the time, they tend to think you're trying to steal their skills, or you're trying to like exploit from them. I don't know if maybe it's just my experience. That's why I asked you, what's your take on the Edmonton creative space? I'm curious.
Okay, so first I'll say my take, and then I'll speak to
That
what
question.
you're talking about as well. I've had the opportunity to be in this space for a minute, like different capacities as a fan of the artists performing and presenting their work, as support to other people, and then also then coming into the space and then showing more of my work and like performing myself. And I would say that I've met some of my most favorite people in the entire world in this space. Like there's so much talent. And then there's also this specific thing that Edmonton really has, which is like artists that like are so intentional and into like having meaning behind their work that's like rooted in like like some form of activism. Like a lot of artists are also activists. That's very interesting. I've learned a lot from those people. And then it's also this space. So I would say like before you came, there was this period in time where it was like young people like literally like in their teens to their early 20s just like putting on their own shows and like showing up for each other. So it was like a mini underground scene. Like the rappers were at like the forefront. It was like really cool. Do like these rap shows all night. People come in, photographers, models, fashion people, just everyone just collaborating and like doing shows together, networking, having fun. That was when I was in the streets, so you know, that was what actually brought me out of like my shell. It was like being with artists because like then yes, I would say like that's my take. I think there's a lot of fresh talent, there's a lot of potential,
There's a lot,
so much like there's so much creativity and so much energy, and people even with the limited resources or limited space in the city, like people are putting out work and like finding a way to do it. To what you're saying, I think because the space is also so small, the resources that are available are not a lot. So sometimes people think they have to hoard their information. People think, I've experienced that, people think they have to hoard their resources. But that's lack mentality, and we can only grow by sharing and expanding.
Because what I know, or what I realized over time is when you try to like what you know, I guarantee you someone else knows it and is willing to share the information. And regardless if you tell me or not, I got someone else I'm going to learn it from. I might just have to dig deeper, but I can learn it. Because why I'm saying that is what I realize a lot of creatives don't know is when you network with different people, sometimes, like say for example, you're a photographer and I have a client, I can't take the client, maybe I'm overbooked. I can always sell that client to you because I know you're good. That's the mindset how I see it as. But what I realize, a lot of people think, oh, you're trying to steal my client, you're trying to steal this.
There's enough for everyone.
You know, maybe that's just a reflection of them and how they move.
Probably. It's like, it's big. You go.
No, because there's enough for it to go around for everyone, right?
Facts.
And so, but I feel like it's like if we put $1 million right here, right, and we're like, yo, take it equally or whatever, or take some. It's hard for me if I have $1 million and I put it here. It's hard for me to have the $1 million here and then give you equally when it's you know what I mean. So sometimes like I feel like they want to hold on to that stuff, whereas if you share it, we can all do something with that, whatever our portion, and then come back again and combine it and make it bigger.
Big one,
You know what I'm saying?
No,
but it's because you're not seeing that full picture. You're only seeing like in the little in the intermediate, like, oh, this is, you know.
So
like you said, your people's always going to be your people. So regardless of that's why like honestly, I really like, as long as there's like respect between both creatives, that's what that matters. Like but the mindset, maybe just the people I reached out to anyways. It might just be the people I reached out to. But that's what I've seen. That's what I noticed. You go.
I really wanted to bring it back to the very first question that you guys asked me, which is like the difference between Nigeria and here.
Okay, go for it.
Which is also a concept that I've been exploring a lot this month, which is the idea of like community versus individual. Okay. Growing up community centered. Understanding that we have more together right? So like, I don't have a stove.
Yeah.
But my neighbor does, and there's a part of me that understand that because my neighbor has a stove, I have access to a stove. It's not mine, but like I have access to it where I don't have to live my life as someone who doesn't have a stove.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? But here it's like what's yours is yours.
True.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like there's this sort of like the individual is the unit.
Yeah.
Right? And when the individual goes and interacts with another individual, it is usually with the intention to get more for themselves.
That's okay. That's true. That's
right?
True.
Versus to get more for everybody,
Yeah.
to like uplift everybody as a unit, right? True. So I've been thinking about like knowing that you're in community means that you don't have to have everything.
True.
But know that your community has everything through the resources of other people.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a great writer because your neighbor is a great writer. And you know if you need a writer, you can use that person's skill.
Yeah.
Right? But you're a great cook and they're very grateful that there's a cook in the community. You know? Like, and I think we really need to lean into that because people would grow faster, move faster, and achieve faster, knowing that like those exchanges are happening in an interconnected way.
Yeah.
I think the Western society is very individualistic, very
I can do it on my own.
capitalistic, extractive, me. So if I'm always having to take because like I deserve, not like, oh, we're exchanging and flowing and growing something together. So we really need to feel like a community and like we have a mission as a community, and then I think we would start like, you know, growing.
Yeah, I guess no, it's mixture of both. There's some people that are willing to like share, and there's some type of connect, but there's some people that are willing to. There's some people that are willing to what's it called? Just figure it out on your own, do your own stuff. But what I realized over time is like when you actually work with other creatives, you'd be surprised how much you can learn.
100%.
Like, so much. You think you know everything. Like I remember I've done a couple photo shoots with different guys, and I just see them the way they like they pose the model and they control. I'm like, oh shit, like yo.
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't think about it exactly.
Same thing with other trainers.
And why that
stuff.
sometimes that you might do something and they'll be like, what? Damn, we can do that? Oh shit, I didn't know. But there's so many. The creative industry is kind of mixture of both. The people where they might be better than you a little bit, and then they start showing off. Like I don't know if you've experienced that before.
No.
If not, okay. I think maybe just the photography world. So like a lot of creatives where I don't know. Let me ask you that question. What kind of artist are you? Are you the humble one that knows your shit but you don't talk, or are you the talking one? And you know your shit,
I'm the kind of person that like I don't like. We've kind of alluded to it. I be playing small. I be like, I'm humble.
Yeah. But then you show them the work and you're like, damn.
I had to pry it out of her, you know.
I like that. I'm the same.
I had to pry it out of her.
Because talking, one thing I realized is most of the time when you talk, you flop. Actually, like legit. When you talk, you flop. Actually,
I'm thinking of someone right now, but like.
I've noticed it. Like that's why now, before a photo shoot, before anything, I'm just like, okay, what do you want? This is what you want to do. Okay, cool. Because like, no, I've seen it. Because like over time, when I'm creating content and I've seen like when I'm like, oh shit, I'll do this for you. Then that day comes and I'm struggling to do it. I'm like, oh, this is wrong. This is right. But when you're like, okay, this is what I want to do. Okay, cool. That's why in business, like I have this motto I use now, which is I under promise, I over deliver. Because when you under promise, they don't expect much from you. But then you give them the work, they're like, damn. That's bro. That's why, bro. After Sean's dog, you don't understand what that man did. Like my mind is, especially when it comes to business. Like there's a lot to that business stuff. Because creative industry, most of the time, you see it as an art. But there's a difference when you want to turn it into a business. It's
two different things.
Different mindset.
Two different mindset. Yeah.
It's because now you're not running. You're not
playing.
You're not playing. You're not doing a creative industry anymore. Like you're actually running a business. It's different.
Businessman.
I don't know if you've noticed. Most of the time, people that you see that work and you're like, damn, I'm better than this person. But those guys are making bank
because they're running a business.
Bro, I'm like, damn, like, what's this person taking? What's this person designing? And like, damn, you're making bank. I'm like, what? And then you look at your work and you're like, I'm better than this guy.
Because they're two different skills.
True. True. Exactly. I like that though. Yeah.
Question that I have for you, Merlin,
Yeah.
is so in all your experiences that you have so far in your life, right?
Yes.
What would you say are the 3 biggest lessons that you've learned so far that you would take that you could give to somebody else or impart to somebody else so far from what you have experienced?
Question.
Number 1. God way or no way.
What do we say in the intro?
It's done. Mic drop.
Like actual mic drop.
Either you're with God or don't show up at all.
Preach. Say it again for the people. Let them hear it. Ring it again. Bing.
If God is not your homie, don't know nobody else. Do you know? Like, it's all by grace.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Not by power, not by might. It's by grace.
I know that line.
There is no need. There is no, like, I feel like sometimes as human beings, we need to want to be able to say, this is what I did. If there's one thing I've learned, it's okay if I don't know how it happened. It's okay if I can't explain to anybody how I'm succeeding. It's okay if I can't explain to anyone how I'm getting my inspiration. It's by God.
Yes. Preach.
I'm just receiving it from
Preach.
the Almighty God.
Guys heard it.
And I'm tired of having to tell stories. Shalayin, this is like only God and I.
Yes.
We
God
know.
is the way.
He's guiding me. I'm
Yes.
going where He told me to go.
Yes.
And things are happening.
Yes.
Okay, and you're seeing them, and then we're here.
You know it's real. It actually comes out of everything, you know?
Yeah, I told you. Okay.
I hear, you know. Number 2, I would say, at least in this moment that is ringing very true for me, is clear boundaries. Know your worth and have clear boundaries.
In everything or just in certain things?
Everything. Like, know how close someone is going to have to stand next to you.
Bro, that's true.
Know
man.
what you're telling who. Know how much of your time and energy you're going to give to anybody.
Especially friends.
Especially friends. You know, be very clear about what people are giving you and your relationships and what's coming out of them, and shift accordingly.
Yeah.
You know, because when you have your boundaries, you can always be full of yourself in
True.
a good way. You know,
True.
like, because you are in your nice
bubble.
and it's full of you, and everybody else is on the outside of that, where their own energy needs to be.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing about having boundaries is that when somebody crosses it, you would never feel guilty to just go like this, cut and just
Bye.
chop it off.
Yeah, because it's just, you know, it's like house cleaning. It's
True.
simply that, like,
But then, so you have to make your boundaries clear to the other person as well, so that
Yes.
they know if they could. Okay.
yes,
Cool.
and communication is very important with like boundaries.
True.
All forms of communication, verbal. Some people need it to be verbal, eye contact, body language,
Yeah.
telepathically.
Sometimes
Tell
just
God to tell
distance,
them.
Yeah, true. There's a lot, bro. There's a lot. Sometimes it's just distance.
Sometimes some people you tell them with your mouth, tell them with your eyes, tell them with your body.
And they're not
You have to tell
listening.
God to tell them.
That's true. That's true.
Tell this person, man. I'm messing up. What would be your? That's
That's
2.
second one. Yeah, that was the last one.
So what's your third one?
Number 3, choose enjoyment.
I heard that line. Yo,
That's that. I want you to break it a little bit more. 'Cause
Choose feeling good.
okay.
Choose everything nice.
Yeah.
Everything relaxed.
Yeah.
Tranquility, peace
Peace
and
of
tranquility.
Peace of mind. I like that answer.
No hectic, no drama,
stress.
no stress. By Wizkid.
But it's hard though, especially being a business owner. It's hard not to go through stress, because when you start out though, even when you make it to the top, you're always like, yo, where's the next client coming from? Where's the next lead coming from?
From God.
I like that.
It's
answer.
all. It's all.
She
Cause
already asked the question. Akeem, you have any more questions?
I have one more question. I have one more question.
Bro, she already killed this podcast.
Yeah, she can tell it. She said exactly what
I don't know what to say anymore, man. I give up.
But what I was gonna say actually too, but what she said trumps it, so I don't even. It's
Nah,
that.
nah,
But she
nah,
said. But what I was gonna say is even on the not last episode, but the episode previous to that one, right?
Yeah.
Where we had Sean, right,
Yeah.
owner of raising the bar, training, performance and training and performance, right?
Yeah.
He said that even though he has stress for his business, every day he's facing obstacles and struggles every single day. But the thing I think with you're always gonna probably have stress when you have a business. It's just running a business, you're gonna have it, but you can limit it, and it's not as stressful if you can control what you can control. So if I know that, in order for me, in order for the lights in the building to work in the studio, I got to pay the bill on time.
Yeah.
So that's something that I can control. So I'm not stressed about this thing, about the lights or about the building running.
True.
Because I know I paid the bill and everything is set. So like that limits some of your stress. The more things that you can like control or prevent in advance.
Yeah.
I think it helps limit your stress for your business, you know?
True.
Yeah.
So that's just something I was thinking about.
I agree with that, because I know I said like peace and tranquility, but I think people should have that as their main goal. Yeah. But then it's not that it's going to be easy. You have to practice for it. You have to build your resilience. You have to really figure out your tools to bring peace. Like what herbs do I have to drink to help my nervous system?
Ginger.
When
you know,
Nigeria
go.
When Nigeria out there, what's your weakness? That's true. No, I agree with you.
You
I
know,
agree. Yeah.
The things you have, things you do.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
A chair in your house that you like, that you just like sit in and just
I like that
chill.
answer. I like that.
Okay.
You want to hear the last question?
So, well, I have one more question before the last question.
Okay.
And that question is, I don't know if that was the most difficult experience, but with that experience with the customers. But what I was going to ask you is, what is the most difficult time period, or what's the most difficult obstacle or struggle that you've gone through in your life? Yeah. And how did you overcome it, and what did you learn from it?
Wow.
Boom, icing on the cake.
This one's recent. So after my undergrad, I decided to enroll in a grad program.
Okay.
And I wasn't a super student no more, and it didn't feel good. I was in a space that I've learned that did not understand like the way I learned. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of, I don't want to go into it, there's a lot of research on this about like certain ways of learning that like educational systems don't have space for. And I was that sort of learner or researcher or knowledge producer. Yeah. And so it was hard to communicate. I had to explain myself a lot. And so what ended up happening was a program that was supposed to take 2 years took 4.5 years. And during that time, everybody was like, what's happening? And I'm like, I'm just anxious as fuck and depressed as fuck. And like, seriously, like dark night of the soul. I was also experiencing a lot of things spiritually and just having certain experiences for myself that I couldn't explain to anybody. So I just felt really lonely that people didn't understand me, and I also felt a bit of guilt and shame that I wasn't performing on this level. But lesson that I learned at the end of it all is that I looked back and I was like, oh, I was actually doing great. You know, it's like when you're going through, and it was funny when that was happening, I would joke with my friends. I would say, oh my God, it's like I'm doing a PhD in life because of the spiritual things I was experiencing. I was having so many like chaotic like experiences, like insane like drama movie level things would be happening to me constantly. And I was like, it's so much, I can't explain this. So but then looking back, I was like, oh shit, like I went through training. Like I went through training. Like my discernment is insane. My intuition is insane. My senses are sharp. My connection to the world is top notch. My intelligence is insane, right? But in the process, it was tough. Like I was being put through it. Like God was like, you're going to have to learn these lessons. You know, if you're gonna do this whole earth angel thing, like you know, you have to learn this lesson. So but I graduated.
Hey, that's what's up.
I got my degree.
That's what's up.
That's what that matters.
We're happy. We have peace of mind.
Enjoyment.
We're
making the bread.
We're living. So like there's always light at the end of the tunnel, apparently.
Preach. Well, there always is. Always. It's just hard to see. It's hard to see. Imagine yourself in that situation when you're going through it. Because, bro, it's tough, man. Like waking up, like, bro, it's tough. Sometimes when looking at when you're putting in the work, like I think I said this in the last episode. It's just like when you're making content and then
one
like
one like
stuff. You go to bed.
Your mom.
The next
and she only liked it because you call like you ask like your mom. You like this one little thing for me, man.
But like when you post it and you're like, okay, you look before you go to bed, 1 like, 2 likes, okay, you go to sleep. Next day, it's 8 a.m., 9 a.m. You look
1 like,
2 like. The
legs go down even.
What's going on? What's going on? More people, but you know what? You know what? It's like, yo, because then when you actually look at like top guys, those guys are putting in. There's exceptions to the rules. Don't get me wrong. There's some people that are 6 months in, boom, millions. Why there's some people that you gotta put in like 2-3 years of consistent work.
Even more than that.
Like, and when you're going through it, it sucks, man. Days when you like created, like you don't know what am I gonna make today? What am I gonna do today? Oh, I don't understand what I'm studying. Oh, this is confusing. Oh, this is this. But it's those period, like when you push it, you push past it. Like you said, you went to school, you're struggling, whatever, and when you finish, now that you look at it, you're like, yo, I was smarter than when I started. I went to intuition when I started, so
definitely.
Like
I like
Burna Boy is my role model on that P. You know, like
that's true though.
The guy was doing his thing for years, like just literally being like, it wasn't like he was making bad music.
No,
he was making literally probably the best music still.
Yeah. People never recognize him until I think it was he
and now when he gets on random tracks and he's doing it, like that's practice. That's the practice that he's had the whole time, and that's why he can actually then be as prolific as he is right now.
That's true. That's very true.
And versatile.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know what I was just thinking while you guys were saying that? I was just thinking that, you know, when you're going to the gym, right, and you're working out. When you're working out, you're constantly tearing your muscles.
Yeah, you're going through
pain. That's pain, the struggle. Like, you're constantly being torn apart. But each time that you go to sleep and you rest, your muscles are they're recuperating. And I feel like it's the same thing in life. Like, say you go through a struggle today, right? You didn't die. I mean, bro, you
win.
You win. Like, you didn't die. You win. You know what I mean? So, like, even though you're going through struggles, if you look at it like that, each struggle that you go through, you're growing. Yeah. Right? Every time you take rest, you're growing. Yeah. And I just think, like, a lot of life is really about perspective. It's how you choose to look at what's happening to you. True. Right? Instead of being like, oh, glass half empty, you be like glass half full. Or, half full, right? Yeah. Because, like, it's all about perspective. Like, my tire could pop right now, right? And I could be like, oh, damn, bro, I got to go buy a tire now. But I could be like, yo, I had these tires from time. Yo, I needed a new tire. Yeah. I probably wouldn't have got one if I didn't pop it. Yeah. Or you can be like, yo, if it popped and I'm still alive, like, yo, I'm still alive.
Glory be to God.
Exactly, right? So, I think it's all about perspective.
That's true.
So, but I'm just kind of going off of that question there. We're gonna ask you the big one. Yeah.
Oh, I know this one.
Oh, you know it? Oh.
What's the question, right?
Wait, there's 2 different ones. But we're talking about the last one or the one?
You know which one I'm talking about. Don't mess up.
Oh, I would. So, Merlin, the question is, what is your theory of the grind?
I knew it. I really tried to come up with an answer to this because I knew you guys were going to ask.
Oh, so you prepared for it.
I like that.
See, I like that. That's good.
I prepared, but I didn't come up with anything.
That's okay. That's
good though, because now you know it's coming from the heart though. So to you, as a creative, as you being yourself, a Nigerian.
Talk to her. Talk to her.
What is
an Igbo woman?
An Igbo woman. My Igbo woman. with a slash of Yoruba too. Apparently she's fluent.
The sugar and the spice.
Yeah. So, what is your theory of the grind to you? What does the grind mean to you? The hot seat.
Guys, this is like the first time I literally can't come up with an answer for this. I think it's because my answer wants to be my theory of the grind is no grind.
Oh.
But I feel like
it can be, but expand.
Hey, remember,
unadulterated, unfiltered.
It's
all about different perspectives.
Like you said, it's how you see it. Come on.
Okay, I'm for growing. I think creativity, expanding, evolving. Yeah, that's the mission. But I want to do it easy. I don't want to do hard work. I don't want to effort too much. I want to leave it all to God. So I think the grind is in like surrendering. I'm trying to do this reverse grinding thing. I just want to enjoy my life.
But I have a question. Start reverse grinding. Putting God first, I'm all for it. But still, regardless of putting God first, you still gotta put in that work. Yes. Because I can't remember where I heard it from, but it was like
faith without work is dead.
Oh, exactly. That's one line, which is like you can pray. God will do the rest. But if you don't work yourself in a position where God will give you the opportunity to actually, because like it might just be one video that will get you like bunch of millions of clients. It might just be one picture that will get you that client. But if you're just praying and just like, okay, you sit down at home, you know, I don't know if you're Nigerian, I'll use this line. You know when those people that are praying, I want girlfriend, I want boyfriend, but all they do is they sit down at home.
Their boyfriend will come to their house. Their mom will bring it. But you're right. Like I think that's why I don't want it to be misconstrued. Yeah. I'm going to show up for what God wants me to show up for.
Yeah, okay.
Right? I think it's the yin yang thing. It's the pushing and like the allowing. It's like into I think like that's where the ease is in the flow. Yeah. I only want to do what I need to do. Okay. I don't want to do what's for God. You know, sometimes you want to orchestrate, and I'm saying this from experience, because part of what I got exhausted. I had to take like a year off even creating. I wasn't doing it. I was just sleeping, napping, eating, because I think I'm intelligent. I feel like I can orchestrate everything and be like, here's the whole plot, the whole plan. I'm going to move this, move that, connect this, do this. And it's all going to come into something. Yeah. And I was doing that and it wasn't coming into anything. Yeah. And I was like, God, I'm doing all this work. And it's like, you're trying to do the one that's for me too.
How would I help you?
Yeah. You know, and I had to really come back to like when everything was easy for me. You know, when I was a child, like what did I used to do then? Like I just used to do my best. Yeah. And like I would just end up in the same room as someone that I need to be in the room with. So I would just be standing next to someone that would just offer me an opportunity. True. Those are some of the things that I can't control. You know, like I can't control that viral. Like I can't make something go viral. But I can keep creating. Yeah. So that's why I said like evolving, creating, growing. That's the grind. I'll keep making things. I'll keep getting better as a person. I'll keep sharing, teaching. Yeah. You know, loving. Yeah. And then I'm going to also, you know, be like, let's see the rewards for the work that I've done.
I like that.
See, that I was actually it's funny that you said that, because literally just before this episode, I was just telling Ori,
we're talking about it.
Literally, I was like, yo, I was thinking about it, and it never really clicked for me until like maybe just like this last week. But I want to put God first in everything, right? And it's easy to say, like, oh, yeah, okay, I put God first, right? Come in here, we say God first in the podcast. But, like, in order for you to really trust him, I would have to put God first and then let everything else happen.
Like, let go, surrender.
And let go and surrender, right? Like, just let things happen. Because, like, when I go to the gym, right? I go to the gym, I can be consistent with the gym, but then I'll neglect God and be like, oh, I'll do it later when I come from the gym. But what if I because I'll say like I don't have enough time. But what if I put God first and then I don't know, somehow the gym
will happen,
whatever, and I was able to get to the gym still. You see what I mean? So like I really like that point. It actually made me think about a lot of stuff. Just that's kind of what I was thinking too. But I like that. I like that a lot.
So get it from the Merlin definition of the grind is no grind.
No grind.
There's more to it
Grind
though.
on
So
God.
There's more.
There's more to it. But okay, I like
There's
that.
the God grind.
Hey, say less.
GG. No, I like that. Well,
Thank you.
Merlin,
Yes.
now this is your time where you're going to brag, talk about all
Everything
your
you do.
ish.
Yeah.
Tell the people where they can find you, what
Preach.
you do, like everything.
Open platform.
Tell them about the
unfiltered. Come on.
podcast. Tell them about the clothing.
Yes, man.
Wait, actually, is any of the clothing you're wearing right
Not
now?
today.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
gonna even
okay,
ask because I
okay.
was like, damn, I was gonna like, yo, I like the style.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But
Tell,
we're,
yo,
we're showing.
clothing, the
Everything.
like, everything.
Actually, this is mine.
Yo, show up the bling.
Yeah,
Yo,
show
we'll
up
zoom in. Well, we can't.
So yeah, my name is Merlin. I'm a creative. I share things I find in the world on my personal Instagram page, merlinuwalaka.com.
We'll drop it in
That's
the
my
link.
website actually, but Merlin Uwalaka is also my Instagram.
We'll drop the website and the Instagram.
And the Instagram.
So yeah, you find me sharing like things I find interesting. And the more I'm doing more photography and videography work,
Yeah.
I will be sharing there.
Okay.
I also share my writing sometimes. I just started a cool platform called Arodanjournal.
Okay.
And on this space, I'm working with some really talented writers. And we would be an artist as well. So we're creating this online publication where we're talking about African spirituality. It's very focused on the environment. So art, writing, photos, videos, music that's just related to ideas of the environment and community and femininity and art and healing. So which I stuff that I'm interested in and I think needs more conversation around. So it's a baby platform. So if you want to write for us, share your work, or just be a part of the community to read and give us feedback, it's Arodanjournal, ARODAN
Link in bio.
So this is my opportunity to create a community, you know, with the values that I have and grow together, impact other people, impact the world together. And also doing this through my fashion line, where I am presenting people mostly with one of a kind, handmade pieces by myself, designed by me, made by me. We offer already made stuff, jewelry, scarves, bags, clothing.
All the swag.
We also offer made custom stuff. So if you want stuff made from scratch for a wedding, for an event, for your
big
birthday, look good. That's something that you can ask us to do for you. And check us out on NDIDI.
Ndidi.
shopndidi.com.
I think I've heard of it. I've heard of it before.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's what we do.
Okay, I see you.
Big things.
Big things. big things.
Yeah.
Well, no. First of all, y'all need to go comment, subscribe,
Like.
like.
Yeah, I see a lot. I see we have ghost.
Share.
but
Support
we have
these
ghost,
guys.
We have ghost viewers, man. Like ghost viewers,
Yo,
man. Like, I look- I look-
this
bro, I look-
viewing and not
I
comment.
looked at the analytics. I was like, I watched it. I was like, yo, bro, the amount of people that watches the video and are subscribing. You know what? I'm gonna do this. Okay, you know what? After Mel's money is off the place.
You should give them Patreon.
You know what? Nah, Patreon. We're getting there.
We're getting there.
You know what I was gonna say? Don't worry, I'm gonna edit this. I'm gonna put this on this is gonna be the first video. You know the intro into the podcast. So let's say there's a kill. Yo, listen, this is already a kill from the future. Like yo, you guys listen. We have so many people watching this stuff. Like yo, come on, man, we're dropping gems in this podcast. Like yo, give us a reason. What do we gotta do to make you subscribe?
Tell us.
Tell
Please.
Please.
We would like to know.
Like for real, because
We would
like
like to know.
too many ghost watchers. Come
But-
on, huh?
On that note, though, for those of you who have subscribed,
Bless.
thank you, because we just officially reached
500 subscribers.
That's a lot, man.
You know what I'm saying?
So, genuine people.
Thank you for those 500 subscribers.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
But those other ones, just let me know. I just want to know. I just want to know.
I want to know what we can do.
What we can do, you know?
But yeah, still though, I see you all, man.
You guys are talking to me.
No, so you know what? It's another episode for another day. another episode for another day. Anyway.
We'll subscribe ASAP.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be
subscribe.
like me.
Be the 501. Be the 501. Come
That's
on.
Right.
Don't worry. Give away at 1K. I know you all like giveaways.
We'll get some nice. Let's. Oh! Quick shout out to a Daisy.
Hey,
for the merch. You know, she created another one for Ori, but
you forgot the gray one.
I forgot that one.
You see what happened was.
Honestly, I took it.
You know what happened was she made two different ones. She made the white and the gray one.
But listen, you didn't even let me pick. Okay, tell your story, man.
You see what happened was he wanted to wear the gray one, and I was like, yo, that looks good. I was like, yo, that's a good one. That looks good.
But you did.
What?
Okay, this is the thing, though, right?
Yes.
You didn't let me. As soon as I unwrapped the gray one, before I could unwrap the white one,
the gray one,
you said you wanted. You didn't even let me to see which one I would like.
Listen, you know what? I gotta go to bed. It's all good. Another day.
It's all love,
that's why you forgot it. That's why. See, karma.
Nah, I didn't. I forgot it on purpose. I didn't want him to wear it.
But I do. So what? I don't know if you guys can see it too. We got the Island Grand merch over here too. Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Don't worry.
To a store near you.
Store near you. It's gonna be everywhere. Global.
Yes, sir.
I see, bro. We have so many fans. What country was it? I think it was Russia. Yeah, a lot of people from Russia watching the podcast. Like, yo, appreciate you all, man. I don't speak Russian. I might go learn some Russian language. But bless. I love you all. You know.
Much love. Thank you so much for coming onto the podcast.
Appreciate it.
For sharing these gems. For being amazing.
Yes.
Just thank you.
You guys find on every podcast. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Stay safe.
Bye.
And we out.
Thank you.